Hey, what's going on guys? Welcome back to Bringing Division video. What up guys, today is a dev blog for the Division 2 weapons, exotics, weapon talent, grenades, and stuff like that. If you guys didn't know, today on the Steady Game, they pretty much announced an article like this will be coming out. And I wanted to make a video on this, pretty much sit down with you guys, give you guys my honest reaction, my opinions, and stuff like that. This is pretty much an article that's going to clear up a lot of the different things people have questions on, with all the different beta gameplays, with all the different things we have seen over the past couple months. This is pretty much a article summarizing everything that has to do with weapons in the Division 2. But without further ado, let's get right into this. So the first thing that says is Intelligence Annex Weapons in the Division 2. As you guys can see, September 27th, 2018, which is today. And the first thing it says is Agents. This is the first article in the series of development blogs that will be releasing up until the launch of the Division 2. In this series, we'll be diving into different aspects of the game to give you a detailed insight and information. In this article, we'll go through all the things weapons, including weapon types, exotics, grenades, talents, and mods. So the first thing we do have is main weapons and sidearms. So right here it says, in the Division 2, we have reworked weapon handling from scratch to deliver a more realistic experience and more interesting gameplay. The recoil system is all new, and every weapon will feel unique and behave in its own way. We have added another weapon category, rifles. This means that the Division 2 will have assault rifles, marksman rifles, submachine guns, shotguns, light machine guns, pistols, and rifles. So this is pretty cool. Obviously, we have not really seen rifles in the Division. We have seen everything else, pretty much assault rifles, marksman rifles, SMGs, and stuff like that already in the Division. Here we have a little screenshot of all the different weapons we kind of can see. We can see the military M133, which is a shotgun. The lightweight M4 is returning, M1A CQB, the Marine Super 90, military MK46, and then lastly we have the SOCOM MK20 SSR. Now, as you guys can see, the RPM, the damage, and the magazine is pretty cool. It's kind of the same. Obviously the RPM probably changed a little bit on some weapons, but for the lightweight M4, I'm pretty sure it's the same. We also have a talent right here. It says lock and loaded. Reloading from empty increases weapon damage by 20% for 5 seconds. That's actually pretty cool. So whenever you reload when you're empty, your damage is going to get increased. What else can I see here? We have armor, health, skill power on the left side. We have your level, and I think that's pretty much it. We also have 19% health damage, and then obviously the level of the weapon. So let's keep on reading. Right here it says rifles will be an all-new category that will include all semi-automatic and burst fire rifles. There are several reasons we have decided to introduce this category, the main one being the balancing perks. In the Division, the many different rifles are grouped into two categories, the assault rifles or marksman rifles category. In the Division 2, we have decided to add a third category for these weapons. This will allow us to create specific and relevant bonuses for semi-automatic and burst fire rifles, as well as other weapons. Our ambition with these changes is to have a great variety of equal viable weapons in the game so that you will have a wider range of weapons. So once again, pretty cool. I'm kind of glad they added this. We have another category of weapons we can try out and use and pretty much have fun in the game. The next section we do have is exotics, and right here it says for the Division 2 we knew we wanted exotic weapons to be even more exciting, and we have put a lot of effort into each and every exotic weapon for the Division 2. For an art perspective, the exotic weapons will stand out a lot more in the sequel. Each weapon will have its own unique look and will be clearly distinguished. Every visual element of the weapons will tell a bit about the story and the theme of the weapon, all connected to the lore. Each exotic weapon will have its own place in the world. So I'm guessing in the Division 2 they want to focus a bit more on exotics. As you guys know, in the Division 1, the only exotics that are pretty much used are like the House, the Liberator, Showstopper in previous patches, and I mean that's pretty much it as of right now. So I guess in the Division 2 exotics will be a bit more important, and I think that's the right move. I do think exotics should be like the ultimate weapon to have. If you have an exotic weapon, you should be doing maybe a bit more damage, maybe you should be getting some other bonuses and stuff like that. So I'm really excited to see how this kind of works in the Division 2. Up next we have grenades, and right here it says in the Division there are 6 different kinds of grenades available, and everyone can use them. For the Division 2, we have decided to go in a different direction regarding grenades. This time around, your grenades will be connected to your specialization, which aren't unlocked until level 30. During level 1 through 29, the concussion grenade will be the only one available to you. At level 30, there will be 3 additional types of grenades, each tied to a specialization. The first one we have is flashbang grenade, is a sharpshooter specialization kind of grenade. Incendiary grenade is a demolitionist, and the frag grenade is the survivalist. Whenever you switch specializations, you will also switch grenade types. This means that you will never have, for example, a flashbang and a incendiary grenade at the same time. However, the concussion grenade will always be available no matter what specialization you use. This makes sure that the grenades can be powerful and useful without being such a large part of your arsenal, thereby invalidating a lot of other sources of damage. So that's pretty cool. I kind of like this idea. I don't really like the idea of everyone having the same nade and stuff. I do think that's a good move. If you're a sharpshooter, you get the flashbangs. Demolitionist obviously gets a different grenade, and survivalist gets a different grenade. So that's pretty cool. And also everyone will have a concussion. If you rely on those the most, then no matter what build you use, you will always have that. Moving down, we have the mods, and right here it says, in the sequel, mods will be unlocked and not looted. The reason for this change is that some mods were seen as must-have upgrades on all weapons, which led to the modding experience becoming less interesting. It also made reloading less important due to inflated magazine sizes and weapon handling less dynamic because of the high handling numbers on the mods. For the Division 2, we will change the mod system so that modding the weapon will be about customizing its feel and use to fit your playstyle, rather than about mandatory upgrades. So that's pretty cool again. As you guys know, now for your weapons, you want to focus on critical hit chance, critical hit damage, and pretty much rate of fire, and that's pretty much everything that you really need on the weapon. In the Division 2, this is going to change. You're obviously going to be able to kind of spec whatever you want on your weapon, and the magazine is getting changed, which is a good thing. I do think reloading should be a bit more important, because now, if you get a magazine, you get pretty much the double amount of bullets you have normally. So I don't know, I think that'll be kind of interesting. It might be a little bit weird in the beginning to have like 30 bullets in your magazine instead of like 66 or a bit more for like your Lightweight 4. But once again, we will have to find out and wait to try it out. It also states once a mod is unlocked, it will always be unlocked, and it can be used on as many weapons as you want. However, not every mod will fit every weapon. Different weapons have different caliber, and of course, the same goes to muzzle attachments and magazines. So again, that's pretty cool. Just because you have the weapon attachment doesn't mean you're going to be able to use it on all the weapons. For example, if you have a scope for an SMG, maybe it's going to fit on all SMGs, but it's not going to fit on a AR or LMG, because obviously it's a different kind of caliber, and I think that's pretty cool. I think that's kind of interesting. It's going to be a bit more grinding in my opinion. Right here we have an image of like the weapon mod. So we have a reflex sight that gives you 20% critical hit damage, 15% or minus 15% accuracy. So I guess you're kind of trading off damage for accuracy. That's kind of cool. Also, it's not just a plus and plus. You also have like a plus and a minus on the sight. So that's kind of interesting. Hollow sight, we have plus 10 accuracy, minus 15 optone range. We have a ACOG scope that gives you plus 25 optone range, minus 15 critical hit damage, ouch. And then we have a C79 scope that gives you 15% critical hit chance and minus 20% reload speed. We have magazine, the 5.56 magazine slots, plus 15% critical hit damage, minus 10 optone range. Under barrel gives you critical hit damage and takes away your reload speed. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. I kind of like this concept a bit more. Again, I can't really give you guys my honest opinion. I haven't played the game yet, so as I'm saying always, I guess we're gonna have to wait and see to find out. The final thing we do have is weapon talent, and it states in the Division 2, the talent system will be completely reworked and you will have all new talents. In the first game, weapon talents have 2 types of requirements, a minimum amount of main stats and some kind of action to activate the talent. For the sequel, we have reworked the requirement system to make the creation of builds more interesting and creative. For the Division 2, we want talents to play a bigger role in your builds and make the assemblage of the build more fun. Therefore, the requirements of the talents will be able to be pretty much anything. For example, having a gear piece with a particular brand, a certain attribute, or having a specific weapon type equipped. The only restriction is that each talent will have a gameplay theme, and the weapons requirement will be connected to the theme. This will give you a greater understanding of how the talent can be used and whenever it fits your playstyle or not. So that's kind of interesting. It's going to be a little bit different than the Division 1. There's not going to be any more requirements with like the main stats or anything like that, which should be kind of interesting. It also continues to say another new feature is the augmented reality tracker that will sit on the side of your guns when you scope in. It is a real-time tracker for your weapon talents that will show different things depending on what the talents you have equipped. For example, it can light up when the talent is activated or help you keep count of shots left until the talent activates, etc. The purpose of this is to make it easier for you to understand your talents and use them in the most efficient way. Even though talents as a feature is confirmed, any talents, bonuses, or stats shown before the game release are subject to change. So again, this is going to be a little window kind of by your gun. When you scope in, it's going to show you when your talent is activated or how many shots you have left until it activates and stuff like that. Honestly, this sounds very, very exciting. I cannot wait for this game to come out. I cannot wait for the beta to drop, for us to have an official release date for the beta and stuff like that. I cannot wait for that. It sounds pretty cool. Obviously, there's still going to be some changes that we, that are going to get updated in the future and stuff, but as of right now, this is pretty much all the information we have on mods, on grenades, on exotics, weapons, and also the talents. So yeah, that is it for the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section below. But once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.